For this next video, we'll cover questions 34 through 42 on the geometry midterm exam review. Number 34 says, name the property which justifies the following conclusion. It says, given t equals u and u is equal to v, and our conclusion is that t is equal to v. So when we have a pattern like this, t equals u equals v, and then t is equal to v, that's called the transitive property of equality, or just the transitive property. Number 35 says, name the property which justifies the following conclusion. So it's given if m is the midpoint of AB, so if we draw a picture, here's AB with m as the midpoint, then our conclusion is that line segment AM would be congruent to line segment MB. And that's true by definition of midpoint. The next one, we're given that 5j plus 30k, and our conclusion is 5 times the quantity of j plus 6k. So what happened here was that the 5 was factored out, but that's another way of referring to the distributive property. Number 37, this is one we're familiar with from our use of it in proofs. When BC is congruent to itself, that's the reflexive property. Alright, our next group of problems will all be about parallel lines and the types of angles formed, but also just angle-pair relationships. In number 38, in this figure, angle 6, which is right here, and angle 3, which is right here, are referred to same-side interior angles. They're on the same side of the transversal, so here's our transversal end, so they're on the same side, and they're in between the two lines. That's what makes them interior angles. So same side interior angles is what we have. Number 39, it says in the figure line L is parallel to line N. So I'm going to come in and just mark them parallel with those little arrows. And R is a transversal. Which of the following is not necessarily true? So it says angle 2 is congruent to angle 6. That would be true because they're corresponding angles formed by parallel lines. So they would be congruent. The next one says angle 7 over here is congruent to angle 4. Well, angle 4 and angle 2 would be congruent, but angle 7 and angle 4 do not necessarily have to be congruent. They don't have a special angle pair relationship. Angle 8 would be congruent to angle 2 because they're alternate exterior angles. And angle 5 would be congruent to angle 3 because they are alternate interior angles. All right, number 40, it says in the figure the measure of angle ABC is 101. And we have to determine which of these statements is false. So we do have parallel lines as indicated by those arrows. So we would have corresponding angles that are congruent. We know that vertical angles are congruent. And we also know that adjacent angles would be supplementary, so we can figure out that this angle is 79, angle CBE, this angle would be 79, and so forth. Alright, so the first one says the measure of angle GEF is equal to 101. So I'm just going to highlight that GEF is this yellow angle, and that's true, it is 101. For B, it says the measure of angle DEF is 79 degrees, and that's true. Here's angle DEF, and it's equal to 79. For C, it says angle HBF and angle AED are alternate interior angles. HBF is this angle, and AED would be this angle over here. And yes, they are alternate interior angles, so they are congruent. Alright, so it must be D, that's the false one. So it says angle ABH, which is up here, and angle AEG, which is here, are alternate interior angles. Angle ABH and angle AEG are not alternate interior angles. They are corresponding angles, so this one is false. in number 41, it says, in the figure shown, HC is parallel to GD, so we've got parallel lines being cut by a transversal, and angle ABC has a measure of 144. It says, which of the following statements is false? So similar to the last one, because the lines are parallel, we can jump in and find all the special angle pair relationships. Right, so if angle ABC is 144, then angle CBE has to be 136 because they add to 180. And then we have some vertical angles. The lines are parallel, so we can say corresponding angles are congruent. And so we can jump in and fill in every angle measure in the diagram. Right, for part A, it says angle HBF and angle AED are alternate interior angles. Here's HBF. Here's AED, and they would be alternate interior angles, so this one is true. For B, it says the measure of angle GEF, so GEF is right here, is 36 degrees, and that is false. So this one is false, because we can see that GEF is 144 degrees. Just checking the last two, because you should always do that, especially on an exam. Angle ABH, that's this angle right here, and angle AEG, that's this angle right here, are corresponding angles. And that's true, they are. And finally, the measure of angle DEF, that's this angle down below, is 36 degrees. That's true also. Number 42 just says, draw an example of the alternate interior angles theorem. And basically the alternate interior angles theorem says if two parallel lines are cut by a transversal, so mark those lines as parallel, then we have alternate interior angles that are congruent. So you can mark those two congruent, or you can mark these two angles congruent. Both are pairs of alternate interior angles.